Hello, my name is Penny Kelly, and I have been teaching intuition classes for, I think this is my 46th anniversary year. Long time. So I'm inviting you to come and join Developing and Using Intuition. It is a 7-month journey. It actually lasts longer than 7 months because we take a few breaks in there, but I teach the class once a year in a series of, once a month classes, and they are game changers for individuals, and they change you at your core. When I first started teaching, the goal was actually to have somebody to talk to, because what I have learned is you really cannot develop and use intuition. You can't expand consciousness without having somebody to talk to. It's so challenging. It's frightening even. And so I needed somebody. And so I started teaching. When my teacher moved away, I was like, no, I can't stop. So I pulled together a little class and discovered that I love teaching. I loved it. And so I've been doing it ever since. So I have goals now that I've developed way beyond the first goal, which was I need somebody to talk to. So one of the goals is really the development of the entire consciousnness. It's to mature the human being and to develop that human being to a very high state of awareness. That's a game changer right there. And I've got a whole list of things here. So another goal, if you have developed your consciousness, you can navigate the world. It's a mess right now. We need a more developed consciousness if we're going to make it through the next 6 months, a year, 2, 3, 4 years. We have a rough patch ahead. And having access to that expanded consciousness is something that you probably are going to need. Not probably, you will need. So that's another thing. Another one is to help heal. When you start developing your consciousness, the first thing you run into is your body. And the body needs to be healed. You need to understand how the equipment works. And if the equipment isn't working very well, it's very difficult to hold a higher consciousness. So healing, that happens almost naturally at all the levels, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, sometimes financially, sometimes, a whole family, ancestral healing occurs. Another thing is to educate people, and I think this is really important, educate people about the science behind intuition and consciousness. It's all consciousness. And that, if you haven't understood the science, then all of that intuitive work is just going to be woo-woo. It's going to be fluff. And once you understand the science, it's like, oh, this is serious stuff. The most powerful tool in the entire cosmos is consciousness. And you have some. Why not develop it? So that's what comes when you begin to understand the science behind it. And that science is the science that, what would I say? It's the foundation for the next world, the new world, the next dimensional step that we have right in front of us. That step into fourth and fifth dimensional living, that's got a whole different science associated with it. So that occurs. Another is to develop the abilities of perception that are the basis of clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, clairnascence, which is your nose, clairgustance, taste, the ability to taste something without putting it in your mouth. You have to develop your perception, and you do that by removing all of the filters that have been installed until you come to just raw perception. What's really happening? Not all the romantic stuff that we overlay it with, not all the anger stuff, not all of the silliness, all of the personal, I'll call it personal selfishness, but it's really where your heart is. We all want what we want, but nobody has permission to get what they want. You need to give yourself permission. So removing all those filters that clog up perception leads to clarity. And clarity is the ability to hear, see, feel, smell, taste, know, act in a way that is congruent, that is realistic, and is powerful. It is when you act in that way, things change, situations change, people change. So clarity, clearing perception. I often tell my students, I'm after your power for you. You have a certain potential. I want people to come to that potential. I have tasted some of that potential. It's amazing. It is worth going for. Why not have miracles on a regular basis? Why not be able to change situations without chaos and uproar? Why? We don't try. We don't try because we don't know how, because nobody ever said this is how you do it, and this is why you do it, and this is what to be aware of as you do it. So all of that, moving people toward their own potential. And actually, that is one of the great joys of teaching, is watching people unfold and blossom. Their consciousness expands. They step into their own wisdom, their own grace. Grace is the ability to align with the energies around you and the energies within you. And power, wisdom, grace, and power. That's the birthright of every single person on the planet. That's not what you hear from the people around you, but that is the truth. We have enormous potential, but we're all tangled up in rules around family, religion, governance, laws, legal stuff, jobs, money. It's a mess. It's a mess, and it's not very pretty. Right now, it's pretty chaotic. So I'm just going to say the most, how do I say this without, the most fascinating, most encouraging task you will ever take on is the journey within. The most challenging and frightening task you will ever take on is the journey within, to know thyself. And the most rewarding task you will ever take on is the journey within. You come to know yourself. You come to be comfortable with yourself. And that comfortableness exudes from you like an energy field. It literally is an energy field. And other people sense that and they become comfortable. That is a worthy goal all by itself. So, I'm just going to say, come and join us. We have a messy world. When you look around and you see that mess, be aware that if you want a different world, you need a different consciousness, because the world that you have, that you see, that we all see, is the result of the consciousness that we hold. And we need more people holding a different kind of consciousness. So come join us. Intuition starts, I think, in September. Intuition 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Intuition 1 is about the brain, how you're built, how to use that equipment effectively. That's always a shocker for people, Intuition 1. Intuition 2 is the language of energy, understanding that we are floating, working, breathing in a soup of energy. And it's got a language. How do you understand that language? So you could go get information anytime you need it, anywhere. Intuition 3 is dreams. The expansion of your consciousness into the night hours is a huge expansion of consciousness. That's 1/3 of your life you spend in bed sleeping. What are you doing during that time? Your dreams will show you what you're doing. And they're very, very informative, and dreams do not lie. So Intuition 4 is about developing clairvoyance, knowing how to do a little bit of remote viewing, practicing that, etc. Intuition 5 is delving into past lives and future lives. Where have you been? Where are you going? You can't really know where you're going if you don't know where you've been. Intuition 6 is multidimensional existence, which is a fairly sophisticated concept, but it is the reality of what we are. We are multidimensional beings, and we live in a multidimensional universe. And then Intuition 7 is stepping into power. How do you step into power? What kind of power do you have, and how do you use it? How do you get to Christ consciousness, Buddha consciousness, whatever kind of consciousness you want to call it? It's all the same. It's a certain frequency level, and it changes you chemically. It changes your attitudes. It changes your behaviors. It changes your relationships. It changes everything. And walking with power is an art, as well as a science, as well as a gift. So come join us. We're starting up. I think we're about 6 weeks out from classes. Sign up now, and you have to take Intuition 1, 2, and 3 before you can take any of the later classes. These classes are different from a lot of the new age stuff that is out there in the, floating around. We'll leave it at that. So I would love to see you in class. More than that, I would love to see you helping to create a new world, a better self, a better place for that better self. So take care. See you in class.